It's brought back so many memories, listening to the family album and to meet with you and see you. And Jeff was my first companion, and he taught me how to work on that mission more than anybody did. And I see so many other companions here, and it's been wonderful to see you again. What's really great is you've all aged as much as I am. We're all still the same age, it seems to me, looking out. And so I just feel right at home, even though I've gotten a lot older and a little more portly. When I went on the mission, I have a testimony of the gospel. I wanted to serve. But when I went on that mission to the British Isles, I had my eyes opened. I suddenly found out, because of President B, that the gospel was far deeper and greater and more wonderful than I had ever imagined. I appreciated so much that he encouraged us to read and to study the words of the scriptures and the words of the prophets, and to really search for truth. And if you had a question, to find out the answer. And I think that's so much needed nowadays. I have been serving in the singles ward, and I've had so many young men and women, especially young men, that even almost wear a badge of courage of having this faith crisis, instead of really delving and searching and finding the truth wherever it is. It's so much needed, what he taught us. And that has been a great foundation to my life, an anchor to my soul, really. That I learned from him to have a thirst for knowledge, for the gospel. That has blessed my life. That's one great thing. I can't really begin to express them all, but one thing that I really learned on that mission was to really search when you had a question and find out the answer. And that led to faith and led to greater testimony. The other thing about, which has been brought up, I was fortunate to serve with Dean in the mission home. And there I learned of his great love for us, each one of us. Just one quick, I think the reason they got me up here is because I'm a crier and they wanted somebody to really do this. But, I'll just tell you one quick experience. One day we had the big board with all the pictures, and we were deciding where we're going to move people who had to change companionships. And right then we got a call from a distraught missionary. And he said, "My companion's gone. He packed up in the middle of the night while I was sleeping. I didn't know until I woke up. He's gone. What do I do?" And I didn't know what to tell him. But Dean came in and he found out, we started talking about this, and he said, "We need to pray. We need to get guidance." So we knelt down. And the thing I remember about that prayer, I don't remember what he said, but to this day I remember the feeling, the spirit. That prayer was for that elder. There was an outpouring of love for that elder that had left. I felt his great love for him. When we finished the prayer, we got from our knees, and President B said, "I want you to go to Felixstowe and pick him up. He's there at the ferry." Now, London is a pretty big city, and Felixstowe is about the last place I would have thought he would have been. Heathrow or Dover or somewhere going across the channel. He said, "Go to Felixstowe. That's where he'll be." And sure enough, that's where he was. And he brought that missionary back. We brought him back, and he fulfilled his mission. He had such a great love for us. He wanted every one of us to be successful and to fulfill a great mission. He knew how important that would be to us throughout the rest of our lives. I don't know what the average is. Some of you have been mission presidents, but I know, as far as I know, there was only 2 missionaries sent home under Dean Bellman, which is pretty amazing. Those 2, he had no choice. He did not send you home for almost anything. He would keep you there. He knew how important it was for you and for your welfare of your life. I love him for that. I love him for the way that he loved us and guided us. You know, it's so great. I was going to say that this thirst for knowledge that he created in all of us to want to know the gospel. I don't know how many missions had a reward of when you did well, we got to go to the temple. I remember going to the temple, the London temple, and sitting there first time I'd ever seen the movie was going through the session there. And then afterwards, we spent an hour with President Belknap at his feet, and he said, just ask me anything. We can talk about anything here in the temple. And what a privilege that was. Again, I don't remember the words, I just remember the great spirit that I felt that day. And that motivated me, I'll tell you, to be a better missionary. I wanted to come back again. I did get to come back another time. Anyway, those are just some short memories. And one thing I need to say about Elin, she was such a great, as Louise said, such a great companion. They complemented each other so well. And I still remember being with her in the mission home and lots of people around. And she came over and talked to me. And when she talked to you, she really talked to you. She asked you questions about your life. And you felt like you were the most important person in the world. I felt like I was the only one she was talking to in that room. She had a way to do that, really a great gift. Many of you may know, I'm sure a lot of you know that one of her favorite songs, I'd get say kind of an anthem song, was "And Fill the World with Love," from the movie Mr. Chips, did by Mr. Chips. And that's what she did. She filled the world with love wherever she went. I love our mission parents. They were amazing. We are so fortunate to have served under them. I just remember, I am so grateful for that day in May of 1969 that I received a letter from church headquarters, signed by President David McKay. And it said, "You are called to serve in the British mission." Because I had the great privilege to serve with President Dean and with his wife Elin as my mission parents. What an honor. I praise their name. They tutored me, and they loved him. And they loved all of you. And I know you all have had these same experiences. What a privilege it was to serve with them. I owe them a debt that I cannot repay. And I leave that with you in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.